What fear bites so deep that it justifies the loss of a stone axe that takes months to grind? Is it the old fear of the arrow against the bullet? Or perhaps it's a deeper terror passed down through the cone graves of their ancestors. There's a tribe that was contacted 4 years before Orlando and I reached them. 80% had died of flu, and the survivors were paralyzed with fear, gazing like rabbits at a phantom beyond their understanding. From this sort of fear, some of the tribes in Brazil's history have fled, never to be seen again. Probably the Krina-Krori never had an epidemic, but they were harassed by diving planes close to Kashimbo. And it's easier to cure the sick or wounded than the fear that's fled from an unnamed terror and grown and matured in the dark isolation of the jungle. How will that fear be overcome? Will hunger eventually drive them to these plantations of potato and maize? Or is their terror greater than hunger? Steel is the temptation beyond resistance. It's a miracle in the Stone Age, an industrial revolution for the jungle.
An airstrip is built and Orlando flies out. During the next phase, he will be looking after the Xingu Reserve. The expedition is divided into groups that work and that protect the camp. The Krina-Krori must feel they can watch every detail, but that the expedition is too strong and too alert to be attacked. News has come with the plane that another government expedition sent to the distant Atuari tribe has just been massacred. Messages stopped coming from the leader's radio, and when a rescue party arrived, they found the radio gone from its shelf. The camp, very similar to Claudio's, had been stripped of everything except for an old pair of trousers. Nearly every skull was holed or fractured by a war club. But at Claudio's camp, the jungle preserves its silence, and the Krina-Krori have only been seen once. A group that went to the river saw 3 men. They stood silent on a sandbank about 600 yards away. They made no reply, gave no reason for showing themselves, and vanished enigmatically back into the jungle.
When Indians watch you, they signal to each other in bird calls. But if a real bird calls, our Indians can never resist the answering call. So you're haunted by the triple question. Is the call real? Is it us? Or is it them? In jungle, you search with the ears, not with the eyes. So nervousness comes from what you hear, not what you see. After 6 weeks, they've had the courage. But what reason can there be, even in a primitive mind, to throw away the pots when you take the axes?
Amanso, mais poucos, já não digo dias, talvez meses, a cara está aí, amigo nosso. Mas que beleza, levaram 12 machados, né? E 15 facões. Muito isolado, muito medroso, de tudo que é fora, né?
From now on, the presents should be taken and replaced every few weeks. But exchanges like this have been known to last for months or even years.
It will go on for 5 months. But unlike the Crina Crori, rain is predictable. It has the known limit of April next year. If nothing else, it gives time to think. What is the problem of these Crina Crori, who've killed everyone they've seen for hundreds of years? Other Indians at least capture the children. The Crina Crori kill everybody. They have therefore not only never met strangers, they've no experience that such meetings are possible. What it means is that an essential human idea is missing from their minds, just as many other things are missing from their society. Unlike the Xingu Indians, the Crina Crori have never learned to make a pot, yet it's essential to most cooking. They can't make the mandioca bread, which is the staple of most Indian diets. And though they must have seen canoes, they don't know how to build them. They've never travelled on the great rivers and open plains that are the natural meeting place of Indians, and above all, they've never known the cultured life of one tribe in ceremonial contact with another. And so they crouch in the jungle until we come. They want to meet us, but the idea of meeting us is against all their history. Thus the Crina Crori are now struggling with an idea as revolutionary as nuclear physics. In some camp like this, they're torn by confusion. And when the climax comes, it will smash the pillars of this society. When eventually they walk from the trees, they will already be new men.
After 3 months of rain, the village of the Presence is almost overgrown, and the hopes of a quick meeting with the Crina Crori almost equally stifled. The last batch of presents is still untouched. The maize, long ripe, is still uneaten, and Claudio, worried by the delay, is growing nervous as he faces the possibility of a long siege.
As long as I am here, I am calling to them. In the emptiness of the jungle, my human nature is a magnet to theirs. In this way, human groups have always been drawn to other groups, till after thousands of years, all mankind lives in a world civilization. Only those with an extreme fear remain outside, and this fear thrives in the loneliness of the jungle. If people say every month shows its strain in me, then how much more the Crina Crori, who've been alone for hundreds of years. I must therefore remain patient and continue calling to a people who somewhere in the flooded, endless jungle are yearning for me. Nothing separates us but this meaningless screen of trees. But then, for 10,000 years, did anything more divide the rest of mankind.